Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the words of the Horowitz, NIDCHEI YISRAEL, and he's pointing out over here something that is so important, and that is that it's not enough for a Jew to be a good person. You hear in the vernacular in the world today, such a good person. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants Klal Yisrael to be much more than a good person. He wants us to recognize that we are Kedoshim, that we are holy people, that we are Avdei Elokei Olam, that we are servants of the eternal God. And therefore, says the Chavetz Chaim, look at the world and you will see that bin Adam lechaver, between man and his fellow man, there are basic laws and obligations that even in the non-Jewish secular world, a person must abide by in order to keep things running smoothly. It means you can't steal, it means you can't damage, it means you have to take responsibility. All of that is regular, normal stuff. And if a Jew thinks that just because he follows those dictates, and he gives tzedakah and he gives charity nicely, and he helps the poor, and he's doing a wonderful thing, and all of that is great, we'll never take that away from him. But then he's careless in the areas of Bein Adam L'Makom between him and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He doesn't daven, he doesn't put on tefillin, he doesn't learn Torah, he doesn't say brachos, he doesn't keep Shabbos in the right way. Does he think that just because he wrote a nice big check to the latest yeshiva or tzedakah organization that he's giving to, that's enough in the eyes of Hashem? Says the Chavetz Chaim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu has so much more that he wants from Klal Yisrael to give us that life of Kedusha. And therefore everything that we do is Mekadosh, it sanctifies us, and we have to do it all between us and Hashem. So too when it comes to our dietary laws of kashrus, where we hold ourselves back from eating those things that are not pure, those things that were not killed in the right way, died by natural causes, or they were slaughtered not according to the laws of shechita. The reason is because we are sanctified to be the nation to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKroivim Elav, and close to Him. Like it says in the Torah, do not eat any of these animals that were not slaughtered ritually in the proper way. Because you are a holy nation to Hashem your God. And in you, the Jewish people, Hashem has chosen you to be the treasured nation, from all of the other nations, on the face of the earth. You understand, says the Chavetz Chaim. The Torah itself says that you, Klal Yisrael, tiniest nation in the world, you are the ones that were chosen to be the Am Segula, the treasured nation. Amongst the other 9 billion people that are in this world, it's only you. And therefore the way that you eat, and the way that you drink, and the way that you behave, and the way that you act towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu, every day of your life is what gives you the right to have, and the entitlement to be called the Am Segula, the treasured nation. And that's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given us all the laws that He has, all of the mitzvahs. It's not just 1 or 2. There's 613, because in everything that we accomplish, in everything that we are involved with, there's ways to be Mekadosh, to elevate and sanctify ourselves. Take a look with your own eyes. Even when it comes to the way you interact with other people, like when it comes to stealing, or where you're overcharging and oppressing someone. The very, very severe sins. A person will never be forgiven until he returns what he stole. And he appeases his friend for damaging him. But the spiritual cutting off of the soul, which is the worst of all punishments that a person can endure in this world and the world to come. His nefesh gets cut off from the source of life, from the Rabbi Shalom. That couldn't be anything more spiritually painful and devastating than that. It only comes to you, that punishment, for the things that you transgress between you and the Rabbi Shalom. Levad ritzichas hanefesh shechayv alei misa. Even though that if a person kills somebody, so there's a chi of misa, they're going to get the death penalty. But this idea of kares, of being cut off spiritually in this world and the world to come, that's only in the mitzvahs that you trample on between you and the Rebbeinu Shalom. Kamoi. Alachilas chametz in Pesach. We're coming to Pesach soon. A Jew that eats chametz on Pesach, kares. V'achilas chela v'dam. He eats forbidden fats and blood. Kares. Ubias dam nida. He has relations with a woman while she's menstruating. Kares. Ushar arayos. And all other prohibited illicit relations. Kares. V'shabis v'yom ha'kippurim v'akum v'chayotzim b'zeh. So too when it comes to certain ideas of Chilul Shabbos, and if you eat on Yom Kippur, or you violate Yom Kippur, or you serve Avodah Zarah, says the Horowitz Kares, Kol HaDevarim HaMavorim BaTorah, V'nishnu Kulam Maseches Kresos. It's all learned in the Torah, and we find it in the Gemara as well. And therefore, the Horowitz do you know who you are? You're the only nation in the world that if you violate one of these things, you are losing your schos to be a member of the world of Ruchnius, of Torah, of Klal Yisrael, that's not going to have kares. But if Chalila, a person does this, they get cut off. Therefore, he says you have to understand, just because you write big checks, and just because you helped the old lady across the street, and just because you gave up of your time for a chesed, it's great, and keep doing it. But don't forget, there's a whole other side of the Torah called Bein Adam L'Makom, between us and Hashem, and we must recognize our precious value of Kedusha and serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the best possible way. All the best.